your world travels in England. Were you meeting with Interpol there, trying to catch bad guys internationally? Have you expanded now from Fayette County, and are you going international now?
Yeah, do you know any different?
No, I don't.
Well, and it's true. That's the truth.
What were you doing over there? Just vacationing?
Yes, my wife had always said she didn't want to go out of the country until she'd visited all the places she dreamed about visiting in the United States, and we did that. And so finally I said, let's go on. And so we decided we're going to take a vacation. And so we went to England for a week. And you know, the first issue, I mean, of course, you're a world traveler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you fly to Georgetown, Kentucky, and back regularly.
That's exactly right. Paris, Kentucky, Versailles, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, first thing you have to do is deal with this time difference, because they're 5 hours ahead of us. And so the lady that arranged all of our plans, her name's Nancy Grimes, she says, thing you do when you get there, because you fly overnight, when you get there, just go check in your hotel, go climb on a bus, a bus that'll just drive around the city showing you everything. You don't have to get up and walk and carry on at a great rate because you'll be tired. So we did that. And we went to something called the London Eye. You ever heard of that?
I have not.
It is a huge Ferris wheel kind of thing. And it has just these huge cocoons, basically, that I bet you there were that 30 people or more fit into each one. And I think it's probably over 1,000 feet high. So we got on that. We had an opportunity to look all around. And we stayed in London for a while, and for 3.5 days. Then we got on a train, and the train went 125 miles an hour. One of those high-speed jobs. And
sort of like riding with me down Nicholasville Road.
no, there was no wreck.
Yeah, one time I wrecked. Right. He never let me live that day.
That's right.
And I wasn't doing 125 miles an hour.
So what happens then is we take this high-speed train, and at the end of it, it's a place called Bath, as they say, and we rent a car. Well, that was an adventure, because in England and Ireland and in Scotland, you ride on the left side of the road, and you sit on the right-hand side of the car.
Well, like you should have, like the old mail trucks used to do. You know, they had the steering wheels on the other side. Do you remember that?
No, but my grandfather.
My dad had one.
Yeah, okay.
He bought one when he was growing up.
Okay.
He would drive it anyway. So.
He did?
Yeah, he had one. He bought one of their mail trucks. He drove around when I was a kid. It was a little embarrassed when he dropped me off at school, but that's another.
You were.
Yeah, of course. What are you doing, man? It's cool, son. Oh.
So at any rate, what happens then is I get behind this car and I'm just traumatized. And so everything was going fine until I get to this first T-bone exit, and I'm looking to the left, because I'm on the left-hand side. I'm kind of riding on top of the curbs and in the weeds on the left-hand side. And so I get to this first T-bone intersection, and I, as I do in the United States, look to the left, see if anybody's coming before I pull out. Didn't even think, look to the right. So that was the first near-death experience. And so we did that. And they have these things called roundabouts.
Yeah, we got a couple of those here.
Yeah. Well, that's all they have.
That's it. Huh?
Over there.
So you should be good to go now on the Reynolds Road roundabout.
Oh, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. The woman that gave us the car insisted that I get a GPS. You know, one of those little route finders, and it talks to you. I learned to become very dependent on that sweet young lady that was talking to me.
You know, was she British?
Yes, oh yeah.
Okay. Could you understand her okay?
Well, sure.
Because I know there's sort of a language barrier there between Kentuckians and you know, the Britons. So.
Is that right?
No, could they understand you okay?
Well,
Did
sure.
anyone go, hey, what about that accent?
Nah, they didn't
Did
say
they even
that.
bring it up?
No.
Did you tease them about theirs?
Oh, no.
No, I didn't think so.
No. Fist fights I leave for the United States.
Especially in Ireland. You don't tease anybody.
Hey, I got on that, I'll tell you on that train. We went to Windsor Castle on the train. And on the way back, perfect. On the way back, we're sitting there, and on climb 4 thugs. Just
Did they look like our thugs?
punks. Yeah.
Just like them, dressed
And
like our thugs?
mouthing, yes, mouthing and
Mouthing you, or just mouthing?
just
talking loud,
mouthing
just doing it
with each other.
Yeah.
They got their
How were their
toes.
pants? Were their pants all down low or high?
Yeah,
Okay.
but butt level.
Gotcha.
And so, what happens
Tennis shoes
is
untied, same deal, right?
they were punks. They were thugs, and I guarantee. One guy had 3 cell phones. Now, what does that tell you? He's a dope dealer. I don't profile, of course.
Yeah.
And them sitting there talking about it. He says, I'll call you in 2 hours. Well,
Oh, that's definitely.
there you go,
Yeah.
see. And you want the same. I mean, what are you going to do? I'm sitting there watching all of this, and this guy looks up at me finally, because you're facing each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This guy, one thug, looks up at me and says, "You got a problem, mate?"
Did he really?
Yeah. And I said, "Yes." "What's your problem, mate?" I said, "Well, you." In a little while they left. My wife, of course, wanted to whip my rear end.
I bet.
Yeah.
You weren't packing over there, see?
I don't think you can.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah,
you-
only the criminals have guns, I think. Yeah.
Well, see, at least you got back in one piece, and you had a couple near-death experiences with the highway thing, but now you're good.
Get their
to go.
underwear changing
Yeah,
experience.
so now you're good to go through the Reynolds roundabout, and you know what? Now you don't be scared to try the double diamond crossover.
I've already done that twice.
Yeah, so you should be an expert. Blaze through that thing now.
Well,
That's European too, I think.
I never see one of those over
it's
there.
in-
But I mean, have you ever been through it, or do you just see it from the air as you're doing the Skywatch traffic?
Both. It's not so bad now. It's
Yeah.
better now. We got 3 lanes there.
Good.
Anyway, so crime rate here in the States. Now that you're back, what are you seeing when you look at what's going on here in Lexington?
Well, I asked in 2007. That's when our legislature began their rush to release prisoners from prisons, and so we look at these Part 1 crimes. You know, Part 1 crimes are divided into 2 kinds of crime: violent crime and nonviolent crime. What are violent crimes? Homicide, rape, robbery, and assault. What do they call nonviolent crime? Burglary, larceny, breaking into cars, shoplifting, theft, property damage, that kind of stuff. Auto theft, and arson. And since 2007, when they started their big catch and release or rush to release prisoners, the violent crime rate in that period of time has only risen 0.5%. Now, why do you think that is? Violent crime rate has risen only about 0.5%. What do you think?
Because up to this point, they have kept the murderers and the rapists. They haven't they've not been affected yet by this rush to release. They're going to be, but they haven't been. So I would guess that's why.
Well, I think that's absolutely right. And we know 2 things about criminals. The one thing we do know about criminals, repeat offenders, is that when they're on the street, they commit crimes. And the other thing we know about them is when they're incarcerated, they don't commit crimes. So when they're on the street, they commit crimes. When they're in jail, they don't. And I think that is kind of the reason. Now, what about these nonviolent crimes? Well, the nonviolent crimes have risen 35% since 2007.
Tune in to the following stations every Sunday to hear full episodes of In Touch with Ray the DA and Don Evans.